LubeOhio.com. Ohio license number 27133.
This is your drive time traffic update on Canton's Morning News.
And traffic and weather brought to you by Crown Heating and Cooling, family owned and operated, serving the residential and commercial heating and cooling needs since 1960. Right now, the roadways are clear. We're not seeing any issues out there, so nothing that should cause you any delays. Hopefully, it's going to stay that way for you all morning long. Just give us a call on the traffic tip line, 330-450-1480.
Canton's severe weather station. Stick with us. Now, the 1480 WHBC AccuWeather forecast.
It is going to be kind of cloudy today. Some clouds and sun mixed, a high of 47. Cloudy skies tonight, low 37, and then breezy and humid tomorrow. Chance of a thunderstorm and a high of 68. Right now, 33 degrees on your severe weather station, 1480 WHBC. Well, first of all, again, I have to say thank you to Pat Wyatt, Carpe Diem, Dark Roast Coffee. I love it. In studio with us this morning, Mayor Bill Sherer. How are you, sir?
Good morning, Pam. How are you?
I'm just smelling the coffee.
Pat made sure that I brought a cup of coffee down.
That was very kind of him. He knows Dark Roast.
Yeah,
that's me all the way. Perfect. It's April 1st. You're not into any of that April Fool's stuff, are you?
No, I got an announcement, though. I'm only going to run one term, but I could say it's April Fool's Day.
Good. Okay, good.
Now that we cleared the air.
Yeah, see there? Because I stay as far away from that stuff as I can. I've been saying that all morning, hoping that people will take the hint, you know. All right, so we have so much to talk about because on the 24th, when council met, the budget was approved. The appropriations budget was approved. Yep. So let's talk about that. It's a pretty big one, right?
Yeah, so we got a lot to talk about this morning. So Kansas City's council on March 24th approved the 2025 appropriations budget. Total appropriations are $343 million compared to $322 million last year. Appropriations are a legislative act by which money is placed or assigned into proper accounts for budgetary authority. Appropriations are anticipated revenues plus cash carryover from the previous year that is available for expenditures, that the city spends on. And appropriations are monies anticipated to be available but not necessarily spent. So when you talk about, carryover, some of the highlights from this year's budget, the general fund is $76.6 million. Safety for this year, the amount we spend on safety for the general fund is approximately almost 60%. Of the general fund budget, with police being $22.9 million, fire is $20.9 million. The crime lab, which we share that with every community, that cost with every community in Stark County, just for wages and benefits for the city of Canton share is $688,000. Water is $24.6 million compared to $29.3 last year, and the reason for that is there's just less capital projects going on. But on the flip side, sewer is $35.3 million compared to $29 million last year because we have a huge project at our WRF, our waste treatment facility, which we share the cost with the county. And sanitation is $10.2 million. But also at council's meeting on the 24th, we also approved the 2025 capital projects and vehicle budget totaling $12.1 million. This is a mix of funding of ARPA funds, which is finally coming to an end, that we've received from the federal government, capital funds from income taxes, vehicle funds from income taxes, and comprehensive plan funds. Some of the highlights include $860 for lease payments for a new fire pumper truck for the fire department. We're buying 4 new Ford SUV Cruisers, which are approximately about $120,000 each. We're going to purchase 2 new single-axle snow and ice dump trucks in the amount of $450,000, and this is crazy how much stuff costs today.
Yeah.
But we have to, replenish the fleet that we have. We're going to spend about $125,000 on speed tables this year, and we're also applying for Safe Routes to School grants through the state of Ohio, so we're going to be able to put some additional raised crosswalks around schools. Our 2 targeted neighborhood investments areas, and I know I talk about neighborhoods a lot, are going to be 15th Street Northwest and the Vassar Park area, which the cost of that project is going to be $1.5 million. Now we're going to be trying to shore up the Vassar Park neighborhood. And Sherer Road Southeast neighborhood, which that project is approximately $1.4 million. Let's see, we're spending $5.2 million to the, will be allocated to the engineering department for paving in our neighborhoods, which does include the alleys. So we definitely got a lot going on this year. Also, all the main thoroughfares should have construction process on, which Market Avenue should be finished this year. We're paving Cleveland Avenue from 8th to 50th. That's a long time coming.
I know it.
We're going to be working on East Tusk, which we secured $2.1 million from Congresswoman Amelia Sykes before. This was last year, before all the budget cuts and everything else. And I'm grateful that she is fighting on our behalf. So we're going to be able to do about 1.5 miles of East Tusk and streetscape. And we're also going to be working on West Tusk. And the elephant in the room, the biggest project we got going is going to be the roundabouts in front of Altman Hospital next year. But at last night's council meeting, this is one thing that I'm really excited about. When we received the ARPA money, when Tom Burnaby was the mayor, we allocated, a certain amount of money for summer programs for the kids. So last night, since ARPA's coming to an end and we amended the comprehensive plan, Council approved the 2025 summer youth programming for 2025 in the amount of, we allocated about $500,000. For the last few years, this program has been paid for by ARPA funds like we discussed. Youth development has to be a primary focus for it. We have to have stuff for our kids to do and programming. I think it's a very, very positive program. And since we just recently amended the comprehensive plan, we reflected that in the comprehensive plan so that way we could have that moving forward. So we got a lot of exciting stuff going on.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's good because like you say, you have to have those things for the youth. And all of this here that, the money that you spend, you say, you talk about the big dollars and things like that, but people, this is what people want you to spend the money on. You're not going to get a call and say, don't spend $2 million on my neighborhood or my roads. They're not going to do that, right?
Well, and it's gonna take some time. I mean, we have never had the focus that we have on neighborhoods right now. And literally, when I talk about, if we didn't have the West Tusk project going on, I know we have 2 targeted neighborhoods this year, but if we didn't have that West Tusk project going on, we could probably do 3 or 4 neighborhoods. And the biggest thing is when we go in there, try to make the biggest impact that we can. It's just not about paving streets. We expanded our program for exterior grants for housing. Working with, the Habitats of the world for exterior renovations for people that can't afford them. We fund community building partnership. As somebody is like on a fixed income, like a senior, and they got a code violation, that they can work with community building partnership to get that minor code violation fixed and try to truly make the biggest impact that we can and then move on to the next neighborhood.
And I believe it was yesterday or the day before, Jim Michaels was talking about the funding. I think it was the state funding that was denied for that roundabout project.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're still moving forward. I mean, we applied for a RAISE grant twice through the federal government and the track grant through the state of Ohio, which we were denied. And it's just not a priority project, obviously, for the state of Ohio, but we're still going to move forward. We're still applying for any funding, additional funding that we can get from the federal government and the state, but that project is still going to move forward. Really, if we can be successful to get those grant fundings, we wanted to enhance the project, but the project is still going to move forward. I mean, this project is probably 8 years in the making. I mean, it just takes that long to get a project like this going. And I know we could probably have an hour conversation about putting roundabouts in front of Altman Hospital, but this stuff predates me, but we have to move forward with the project.
Yeah. Once you start getting used to roundabouts, honestly, I'm not kidding. I'm not April fooling anybody. You get used to them. You do. My kids tell me the little tricks, and so I keep them in my brain when I go, because I hated them. But I'm getting used to them.
Well, they say they're safer, but I'll say this, that I don't have a problem with roundabouts. I'm not a fan of putting roundabouts in neighborhoods.
Right.
But we're also talking about putting a roundabout down by Woody's Root Beer Stand on that intersection on Harrison, 25th, and Fulton, where you got like five 5 entryways going into that. I think that would be a great candidate for a roundabout because it's that big of an intersection and stuff like that. And I think it will be. I think it would be productive, but that's going to be a couple of years down the line. It's just in the planning stages right now.
Yeah, North Canton did it in some places and it, like my kids say, once you're in the circle, go, just go, Mom. So it works, but yeah, lots of good stuff here. This is great. And I'm glad you could come and fill us in on all the stuff that we're going to be seeing here. Spring's going to come and work's going to start, and
we got a lot of positive stuff, and we're moving forward with Centennial Plaza. We're moving forward with the police substation. We had a meeting down there yesterday, so it's going to be very, very impactful. It's going to be a command center for downtown, and we got a lot of good stuff happening downtown. We're talking about with Blake with SMG taking over, the Centennial Plaza, probably doing 4 ticketed events.
Love that.
I want to see the Blues Fest come back down. I want to see the Ribs Burn Off come back down. There's no reason. We'll never be like Jackson and Plain amphitheaters, but there's no reason why we couldn't do some ticket events. And if you want the good bands to come down, you're going to have to pay them. And we're also going to allocate $100,000 to help with entertainment through the comprehensive plan. So I'm excited. There's a lot of good stuff happening right now.
Should be fun. It'll be fun. I know we'll talk to you again very soon and see your face in studio very soon.
Thank you, Pam.
Thank you, sir.
Canton's Morning News with Pam Cook.
If you missed one of our guests, get